Boom. Alright guys, we've just gone 1 past 1 a.m. Looking like that we have made it to another day. 27th of March. It's a Friday, a rest day, which by the way is very difficult at the moment. And also it is fucking raining, which just makes everything suck a whole lot more. So anyways, we're going to get up, we're going to get our ass together, and we are going to hydrate, caffeinate, and do all that business. So let's go do our mitochondrial peps and sups and shots and all that bullshit, and then we'll see you back in here for caffeinated beverage number 1 of the day. Alright, mission success. We have done all of our shots and all of our pills and bullshit and acquired the monster. So let's do this thing. Let's get the sip on camera. The best sip of the day, the first one. The crackhead sip. The one that we've been fiending for. And then we'll get another 10 minutes sleep in. Blows your head off every time. All right. Another 10 minutes sleep and then we'll get up and we'll do the usual business. So, etc., etc., etc. Let's get this bullshit done. Haha, extra 15 minutes of sleep was achieved. It's just gone 1:30 and it's time to get the day going. Definitely going to be napping some more after cardio, though. That is for sure. All right. Let's get up, finish off this monster, and get our ass on cardio. Cheers. Ugh. Oh, it's fucking raining outside, guys, and it is cold, which is fucking bullshit. But anyways, let's pick a flavor of the morning to get going with. I'm thinking maybe we go the old Kelly White, which I have no idea what flavor that's supposed to be, but anyways. Double parked. All right, get our headphones on wherever the fuck they are. There we go. Alrighty. Out into the rainy, cold bullshit. Get some lights on in this bitch so we can see what the fuck we're doing. There we go. The beautiful Stairmaster. Alrighty, let's get on this bitch. See, fucking rain everywhere. Oh, well. Oh, good morning, baby. How are you? I love you too. Let's get this shit happening. Get it the fuck happening. Alrighty. Ooh. You guys, here we are. Post cardio. Only 20 minutes. Easy as fuck. And we are out in the rain getting our steps done. Because we do not give a fuck about a little bit of water, because at the end of the day, what's it really going to do to me? Make me wet? Fucking, is it going to stand in the way of my goals? Fuck no. If I get a little bit wet, then I really couldn't give two fucking shits. This brings me into a little conversation that I want to talk about, where yesterday I had someone respond to the before and after pictures that I posted about me at the start of prep and where I am currently. And that was the photos that I posted on Instagram, where you can clearly see that body weight only shifted a couple kilos over prep, but I gained tissue and lost body fat throughout the entirety of prep. Now, what they basically replied about was, well, the actual reply was something along the lines of, do you attribute the use of high amounts of growth hormone to this progress? And it definitely struck a chord with me, not because like it, necessarily angered me or anything, because I think that a lot of people are very, very, I suppose, misinformed when they think it comes to making drastic changes to your physique. They think it's all about the drugs. Now, why this particular scenario I'm in right now, out in the rain, walking, is relevant is because my rebuttal to this question of was it the high GH was, yeah, the drugs are what makes me get up out of bed every morning. The drugs are totally what gets me doing all the shit that we have to do as bodybuilders to get in shape, whether we feel like it or not. Like, I'm out here at, 2:15 in the morning, walking in the rain. That isn't a drug thing, buddy. Drugs aren't going to make you come out, do your cardio when you have no energy, train your ass off when you have no energy, do all the shit that you have to do regardless of whether you feel like it or not. People think in this day and age that if you do make leaps and bounds in your physique, that it has to be the drugs, because we live in such a time right now where not only are these drugs quite accessible to the wrong people, unfortunately, like kids and fucking mums and shit, they're all on GLP-1s and peptides, and unfortunately even like 18, 19-year-olds on anabolic steroids, which I'm fully against, for the most part, unless you're going to be like the next Mr. Olympia or something, which is one in a fucking million. People's, I suppose, thought process around this is so skewed now. There is no drug that is going to get any motherfucker out here doing this shit that I'm doing right now. Like, do you think that I want to be out here in the pouring rain, walking the streets? No, not particularly. But do you know what I do want? I do want the results. I do still want to hit my goals. So there is no fucking drug that I can put into my system that is going to make me do this shit. And if you think that just by taking drugs, all the hard work that you need to put in is just negated, then you, my friend, are certainly misinformed. Another gentleman also inboxed me yesterday. I don't know why, they always seem to come in waves, but he goes, quick question, bro. What's the highest amount of gear that you've run? And did you notice a big significant difference in your gains? So firstly, he's assuming that I'm taking a shitload of gear, which, look, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I'm not taking anything, because that would be bullshit. But his assumption is that, the only reason why you're making such good progress is because you're ramping gear up really high. That's not the case at all. In fact, if anything, as I've gotten further in my bodybuilding career, I've actually taken less. It's because the more advanced you get, the more dialed the fuck in with everything that you get becomes better. So like, my training is better than it's ever been. My nutrition is better than it's ever been. My routine, my everything is just fucking 1,000 times improved upon where it was a year ago. And then at that stage in time, it was 1,000 times better than it was a year before that. So to get inboxes like, oh, bro, you know, it must be the drugs that are the reason why you're able to achieve what you're able to achieve. Not only, I suppose, does strike a chord in the fact that it makes you feel like your hard work isn't valid, but it's also just a little bit worrying and a little bit morale killing, because there's so many people out there right now that think that drugs are the answer, and they aren't. They truly aren't. Like, I know guys that have incredible physiques, incredible, even better than mine, that even take less than I do. Obviously, there's outliers, like people that will take more and things like that. Sure, you know, I'm not going to deny that there's, you know, drug abuse in bodybuilding, but once again, they're very few and far between. Most guys doing this shit at a high level and achieving great things aren't abusing the fuck out of PEDs. What they are doing is they're locking the fuck in with absolutely every other variable that is available to them. They're improving their sleep. They're improving their nutrition. They're improving their training. All the shit that actually matters. Not just filling up a syringe and going, oh, this is going to do the work for me. No. I'm sorry, but that's just not the truth. So, if you are the type of person who thinks that drugs are the answer and that is the barrier between you and reaching your goals, I just want you to have a quick rethink of your current situation and go to yourself, before I add extra fucking oil to this needle or add this extra peptide XYZ45 fucking dick in hand, what can I do in my day-to-day life to improve everything that I'm currently doing? Can you get a bit more sleep? Can you eat a bit better? Can you train a little bit harder? Can you make your routine more set up around bodybuilding so that you can get the absolute most out of the least? This is the mindset of champions. If you ever go into a room full of big motherfuckers or sit down at a table with a group of big motherfuckers, we don't talk about drugs. You want to know why? Because they aren't the fucking answer. Big guys talk about training. They talk about diet. If I was to sit down with any of the competitors that I'm going against, or probably at least most of them in a couple of weekends' time, I can fucking guarantee you that we would be nerding out, talking about what our training split looks like, how we've approached, you know, our nutrition, how we've approached our supplementation, how we've approached our recovery, our mindset. All that shit would come way before anyone even mentioned a vial of fucking anabolic steroids or a needle or a peptide. Guaranteed. So if you're watching this and you are the type of guy who thinks that, oh, Ash Lachlan just ramped up the dosages and that's why he's done so well during this prep or whatever, have a fucking look at me, mate. I'm literally out in the pouring fucking rain getting steps in because that is what I need to do to be the best version of myself. I'm not just rolling out of bed and pinning a bunch of shit and going, oh, there we go, job done. No, motherfucker. I rolled my ass out of bed. I hydrated. I took my supplements. I got my ass out of bed on cardio. I hit the streets when it's fucking piss and rain. My whole body right now is, well, my lower body anyway, is fucking wet. My feet are soaked. Stepping in puddles and shit. That ain't no peptide, buddy. That ain't no growth hormone. That ain't no anabolic steroid. What that is discipline. If there was a fucking steroid that was disciplined in a vial, then you motherfuckers need it. Unfortunately, there's no such thing just yet anyway. But yeah, again, drugs are not the answer. So anyways, nice little rant there. I am going to have to put my phone away because it's fucking soaked right now and finish these steps off. But anyways, before I do go, woke up this morning at 104.5 kilos. So up a kilo from yesterday, despite the fact that it was a regular day diet. But that's just because I was actually drinking a lot of water last night I don't know, some nights I have it where I'm just a bottomless pit at night time with my fluid intake. Like I'll wake up every half an hour and need to scull like half a litre of water. I think it just comes down to the fact that because when you're so lean, you just don't hold on to it anymore. So your body's like, yo, motherfucker, I need some fluid. So plan of attack today, rest day. So nothing exciting in the way of training, but I will still take you along for the day, show you my meals, any shit that comes along the way. If it ends up as a short vlog, it ends up as a short vlog. If it's long, who knows. But we are going to keep the vlogs rolling every single day leading into comp. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So let's finish these steps up. Let's get back inside. Let's get meal 1 made, abs trained, all that shit, get dry. And then, yeah, we will see you in the kitchen. So see you then. Righty, we have made it back inside after getting fucking soaked. So that's what layers of clothing were made for, guys. You don't need to be worried about the rain. Seriously, like, fucking hell. Oh, shit. Oh, get this wet-ass hoodie off of me. We doubled up on the hoodies. So we are wearing double hoodage. If I can do this all with one hand, I apologise. 1 second. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're going to get our digestion drink in. We are going to get meal 1 prepared, and then we are going to train abs. So we'll see you in the kitchen. Alrighty, so we are going to get this gut drink going in the fridge. Kombucha. Over to the table where we make our concoction. See if I can take this lid off. All right, so 150 mLs of kombucha. There we go. That one can go back in the fridge. Ever since I implemented kombucha in the morning on a empty stomach, I swear my stomach has gotten so good. I don't really have any digestive issues anymore. When I say anymore, like 4 or 5 months ago, sort of towards the start of prep, it was definitely an issue where I was just having like feelings of like bloated, fullness all the time. So I tightened my diet up a little bit, got rid of a few things that I thought might have been a culprit, and implemented a few things, and this drink is one of them. So along with that 150 mLs of kombucha, we're going to put in 10 grams of glutamine. So that is going to go in. All right, glutamine. Then we are going to add a little bit of taurine. All my powders and shit that are just sitting on this table here. Sorry that I'm trying to do it one hand, by the way. All right, that was taurine. Then we are going to also put in a little bit of extra creatine. This one here is a grape flavored creatine. So let's get a scoop of that. I hope this is actually getting on film. The angles are quite awkward. And then lastly, what goes into this drink here is a greens powder. I just use Muscle Nations. All right, a scoop of that. Okay. Boom, done. Then we're just going to mix that one up. And we're going to take that into the kitchen, swallow a few more pills. What we're going to take is fish oil, D3K2. We already do our magnesium and all that in the morning with our hydration drink. So magnesium, vitamin C, all that kind of stuff, that all goes in fasted. And after I do my cardio, that is when I then put in my fish oil, my K2 D3. What else do I take? I take my Axis by Driven Nutrition. I also take in a digestive supplement. And I believe that is pretty much about it. Oh, and I also take zinc. And lastly, empagliflozin, which is a SLGT2 inhibitor. So I'm going to neck these down and then we'll set up the camera for meal number 1 preparation. Alrighty, meal number 1 prep. Camera set up. Plate. You know the drill, guys. Meal 1 is the same on rest days. 4 corn thins. Boom. Rubber band back on that one to prevent the staleness. That one can now sit off to the side while we get our cream of rice and drip ready. $50 grams of sticky toffee cream of rice and 50 grams of bowl of Gaines brownie batter cream of rice. Now, can you guess which drip that we have? I bet you can. We've got that Skippy consistency check on point. Get this on top of the cream of rice. How do you guys go with Groundhog Day? I want you to comment below if you live the same exact life every single day. I'd be interested. I mean, my following isn't that big on YouTube, so I'm sure there'll probably be fuck all people that comment, if any. But if you do live the same lifestyle every day, then comment below Groundhog Day. Alrighty. We've got all the Skippy into the bowl. Now we're just going to spread it around. Even coverage is key. Get that peanut butter taste all over it. Hell yeah. Alrighty. You guys know the drill. Pumpkin pie spice, aka the basic bitch seasoning, and a bit of stevia on top of that, because we are a sugar fairy. Okay. Freezer. We want our shit nice and cold. And then pineapple time. Scales, drip bowl, and a pair of scissors somewhere. Oh, here we go. Some test snips. And we're going to cut 125 grams into the bowl. $116. Can we get 125? 131. Fuck no. 124. There we go. That is what we were after. Wipe them bitches clean for later use. No cross contamination. And this pineapple can go back in the fridge. And then on top of the pineapple goes pumpkin pie spice. And stevia. Alrighty, that's going to go in the freezer. We're going to train abs now, and then I'll see you at the table when it's all plated up after we have finished training abs. So let's get it done. post-ab physique check. Time for meal one, baby. Alrighty, meal number one. We've already devoured the pineapple. All gone. Already devoured 3 of the corn thins, and our cream of rice is left. So I just started hooking in because I was so hungry. So I apologize. But anyways, this is meal number one. It is going down, and then we're going to do some client work and then get another nap in. So see you in the next clip, which will probably be me hopping into the sauna, I'd say. So yeah, see you then. Alrighty, we have just woken up after like 3 hours of napping. I think we went back to sleep at about 3:30, and we basically slept all the way until now, which is 7 o'clock. So a little bit over 3 hours. We did obviously wake up in between intermittently, and what did I do? Like, went to the bathroom a couple of times and drank some fluids because I was thirsty as fuck. But yeah, we just fucking did a shitload of sleeping. So today being a rest day, I'm going to try and just prioritize sleep. Like, even if it means I work and then nap and then work and then nap and eat and nap, and just, yeah, my day I think is just going to be saturated with napping and resting. So that is the plan. So anyways, we're going to knock out another 15 minutes in here, then go for some steps, eat meal number 2 on a rest day, which I'll show you, and then we'll continue on with the day. Alrighty, here we are, getting our steps in before meal number 2 on this fine rest day. Although I shouldn't really say fine because the weather is fucking miserable. It's just wet every fucking where, and it's cold, and I hate it. I just want summer back. It's very depressing knowing that the cold weather is coming, but anyways, we can't have it our way all year round now, can we? So plans for today are, we've got a few little errands to run as usual. Most likely include a grocery trip run. I do have to take a old client of mine to a doctor's appointment, an old NDIS client that I do still look after from time to time when he gets a little bit desperate. So we'll head out for that later this afternoon. But other than that, it's going to just be eating, client check-ins, and resting. So being that we are 16 days out, it becomes quite important to make sure that the body is fresh. So resting will be very, very important, especially also because I have my feet issue going on, which still fucking hurts. It's just pain in both my ankles basically all day when I'm walking around. So really hoping that it fucks off soon. I feel like I need to get them like massaged or something, because yeah, they are not in a good way. I don't even know if anti-inflammatories or anything would help, but I don't really like to take those, especially not this close to the show, because they can definitely fuck with your look. So a bit of a no-go for me. What else is there to report on? Not a whole lot else, other than the fact that the nap that I just had was life-changing. Like I said, it was about 3 hours worth of napping, so that was awesome. So today I'm going to try and keep that trend going, and if I can get like another like 2 or 3 hours of napping and make up over 8 hours worth, that would be awesome. I think I am planning on going to Melbourne tomorrow for a free posing workshop that the PCA is holding. So that means that if I do go to that, sleep will likely be less because won't really have a chance to nap during the day. But if my friend drives for a good chunk of it, then maybe I can get in a little nap whilst she drives. So, but yeah, that's the plan for today. And then, yeah, like I said, plan for tomorrow would be a bit exciting for the vlog tomorrow as well if we do go to Melbourne, because then it means I'll be able to train in a different gym, and you'll sort of see the journey along with that and whatnot. So yeah, anyways, I'm kind of just rambling at the moment now, so we'll finish up these steps and we'll get back inside and we'll show you meal number 2, rest day meal number 2, fish and veg, my fave. I'm actually not even joking when I say that. I actually love basa and vegetables. It's fucking so good. So we'll see you then. Ooh, all right, meal 2 for a rest day. As you guys know, my rest days are lower in carbohydrates. So what we have going on here is 500 grams of basa, 100 grams of vegetables. Then we have 8 corn thins with 20 grams of the Adonis cookie dough spread. And then 125 grams of pineapple there, which is just covered in like a bit of cacao powder. So that is meal number 2 on this fine rest day. And we're gonna hook into this and then continue on with the day. So next up, I believe, will be a bit of just more client work, probably a nap again. And then we'll keep rolling with that until we have to head out a little bit later to take my, one of my old clients to a doctor's appointment. So let's hook into this. I am fucking starving, and yeah, see you in the next clip. Oh, all right. We are leaving the house to run a couple of errands. We need to go to JB Hi-Fi, pick up my power beats that I sent in for repair like 2 weeks ago. Little stop at the grocery store as well, and also going to go and pick up some cigarettes for a friend again, the old client that I have that I used to work for. So to get all that going, we're going to go a twin apple pouch, and we're going the trusty white monster to get through this morning. I've also got some Instagram Q&A questions loaded, so we'll get through some of those too throughout the trip. But for now, let's get a sip. All right, let's hit the road. All right, first question we're going to answer from the Q&A is, late in prep and I'm finding it hard to get my heart rate up. So I'm assuming this is during cardio, and this individual is trying to get his heart rate to a certain rate for cardiovascular benefits, or to get him to a certain zone, etc. Now, as your body weight does get lighter in prep and you do get better at doing cardio, yes, it is going to be a little bit harder to elevate your heart rate. And therefore you're going to have to work harder for that heart rate to get to a certain point. However, all I would stress is that you just keep it consistent, really. Your heart rate not being able to get so high, yes, whilst you may need to increase the intensity of your cardio work over time to be able to keep your heart rate up. If you're getting to the point where you need to like fucking sprint and burn the fuck out of your legs or whatever it is that you're doing just to be able to get your heart rate up, I would say don't stress too much about the heart rate. Just focus more on getting the calories burned, focus more on doing the same amount of time every day, and just get your heart rate as close as you can to that number. Because yeah, like I said, you don't want to be doing like sprints on a stair mill or something just to get your heart rate up. So anyways, that is that question. Let's go to the next one. This next question is your favorite C4 can flavor. Ooh, I will admit I have definitely grown a like to C4 lately, but I'm going to say that I cannot get past the cotton candy. Cotton candy C4 to me is 10 out of 10. So the answer to the question is cotton candy, my man. So if you can get your hands on it, go and pick up about 20 of them bitches. All right, next question. Alrighty, next question is how to stay lean in the off season. I'll break this one down simply because it is actually quite simple. Overarching concept though is that treat your off season like an extension of your prep. Just because you're in the off season doesn't mean you throw out all the good habits that you had during prep. A lot of guys will start waking up later, they'll push meals back, so therefore they'll start cramming shitty calories in to get the calories made up for the day, so combining their last 2 meals because they're eating too late, and they'll just go get fucking Maccas or something instead. So you need to remain doing the habits that you did during prep. So that involves also sticking to doing faster cardio, making sure you're not eating in too high of a surplus, making sure that you're still training with progressive overload and you're tracking your training and doing all that. Make sure you're still moving a lot. All right, some guys will go from like 15,000 steps a day in prep to like, I don't know, 6,000 or 7,000. I think a minimum of 10,000 per day should be in place year round, and when you're coming out of prep you should be tapering down. So if you did 15,000 in prep, maybe go down to 13, and then, you know, a few weeks later come down to 12, etc., etc. So it's all about keeping in the good habits that you had in your prep, carry them through into off season. So yeah, keep doing your cardio, don't eat like a fat pig, and make sure that you are training intensely and still moving a lot. That is how you stay lean in the off season, which ultimately will make your preps that much better. So next question. All right, this next question is, what are you looking forward to most this year? Well, aside from competing in season A, I'm going to say I'm looking forward to helping more and more people through my coaching. Coaching for me is a huge passion. I absolutely love waking up every day to my client messages. I love getting back to them. I love watching them succeed. And I'm just a fucking bodybuilding fangirl, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I love it through and through. Watching my clients progress and hit their goals and get in the best shapes of their lives is honestly the most rewarding part of my day and probably of my life currently, aside from my own bodybuilding goals. So yeah. What I'm looking forward to is just smashing it with my clients, getting more of them to their peak shape and watching them flourish as humans. So next question. Alrighty, this next question is, what is your favorite body part to train? Now, this is going to change for me personally, off-season versus pre-contest, simply just because when you're pre-contest, you have a little bit less energy. So during the off-season, I cannot beat a good leg session. I absolutely love training legs in the off-season. It's my fucking favorite. The only reason I don't like training legs, well, I mean, I still like training, but the only reason it's not my favorite during prep is just because it's so hard to get going sometimes when you have low energy. So during pre-contest though, I love training push, because I believe push is the one where you kind of reap the most rewards in terms of vascularity and the way your physique looks when you're training. Like when you have a pumped chest, shoulders and triceps, and you hit like a gnarly front pose in the mirror, it just looks insane. So off-season legs, pre-contest, definitely chest, shoulders and triceps. So next question. Alrighty, next up, the question is, how do you cook your basa? Well, good sir, what I do is I defrost the basa by throwing the full kilo into the sink. If I want it quicker than obviously the time it takes for it to frost, I will open the bag up and I will pour hot or boiling water into it and let it sit for half an hour. That usually does the job. Then I put the full kilo of basa into my 10-litre air fryer, which fits all of it just. I then put it on for 17 minutes at 200 degrees, which is the max temp of my air fryer. I then leave it in there for about an hour after it's already cooked, just to like absorb back up all the juices that it's lost, so that when I go to take it out of the air fryer and put it into a container or a fridge to then cook up later in a pan, it's much juicier and has all the flavors and whatnot still in the fish. So that is how I cook my basa. Let us do one more question, and then we will be at JB Hi-Fi. Alrighty, so this question is from my man Steve, aka Kendrick. And his question is, you have to get rid of one for life, Monster or basa? Oh, this one's a tough one. I'm probably going to have to say Monster, simply just because basa is pretty much my favorite protein source, and I can always drink like C4 or Ghost or something like that. So yeah, that is my answer to that one, unfortunately. So long Monster, and hello basa, my baby. Alrighty, we have just parked out front of JB Hi-Fi. We are going to go in and collect our Power Beats that we handed in a couple of weeks ago that were fucked. One ear wasn't working, so they sent them off for repairs instead of just giving me a new pair, the wankers. But anyways, that doesn't matter. I've actually switched back to my Beats by Dre, which I've actually been preferring anyway, so I'm not really too sure what I'm going to do with my Power Beats when I get them, whether I use them or not, or maybe just sell them, I'm not sure. But anyways, let's go into the shops and collect them. worst part about coming here is trying to find somebody to fucking help you in the shop. They're always hiding out back doing sweet fuck all. But let's try our luck today. Alrighty, success. They have repaired the left earbud on this. Apparently it wasn't just dirty like they tried to tell me, so they fully just replaced the left earbud, which is kind of funny because they should have just given me a whole new pair. I mean, like, fuck, if you're gonna give me a whole new earpiece, you might as well just replace both. But anyways, maybe common sense ain't so common. But we've collected them now, so we're gonna head into Woolies now to pick up a couple of things, and then by the time we get home, it will almost be time for meal number 3. So this is a rest day in the life, guys. It's just fucking Ash Lachlan errands and bullshit and ramblings and eating and napping and drinking energy drinks. And by the way, I'm looking fucking very dark right now, so maybe I need to back off on the tanning. Otherwise, I'm going to start to look a little bit ethnic. So anyways, maybe it's lucky that it's not sunny today, or I'd be too tempted to tan. At least it makes my teeth look really white. All right, back to the car and then over to Woolies. All right, we have entered the shopping centre where Woolies is, so let's get ourselves a trolley, dump these bags in, and pick up some essentials. Alrighty, groceries have been acquired. Time to get back to the car. Then we shall head home and unpack it, and it will just about be time to eat. So let's get our asses back in the car. Alright, now that we are back in the car, let's answer a few more questions from the Instagram question box. This next one is, what gym are you training at the moment? Alright, this is probably because I posted a few gym sessions at the Anytime local to me. So I currently have 2 gym memberships. One is at Genesis in Wodonga, which is an awesome gym. That's the gym that you see that has all of the Nautilus equipment and whatnot, and I absolutely fucking love that gym. And then the other gym is just an Anytime Fitness a bit closer to my house that is really good just for convenience and good for like a leg day as well, just because I really have been frothing using the old hammer strength leg press again. Plus their quad extension is a little bit nicer for some reason. The one at Genesis is a little bit clunky at the moment. It needs a little bit of tender love and care. So until that gets oiled up and smoothed out, the Anytime Fitness I think will be the main leg day gym for now. So that is the gym that I'm currently training at. Now, next question is, what is your favorite meal of the day? Now, this is a tough one. It's a toss-up. Oh, look, I mean, it's hard. I love all my meals, I really do, but I think it's a toss-up between first and last meal, mainly because the first meal is after cardio, so it feels like it's like well-earned, you know, after doing, you know, cardio and steps and abs. That first meal just always hits. Also, obviously, because it's, you know, been 8 hours or so since the last meal, so... And the first meal is obviously, you've probably seen cream of rice, pineapple, and corn thins. And my last meal, oh, like that one's also my favorite as well, because it has the Ninja Creamy and the corn thins. It's like eating dessert. It's like eating, you know, ice cream and like chocolate covered rice cake. So I'm gonna have to go probably my first meal. There's just there's no beating it. There's no beating that feeling of getting home after busting my ass on cardio and eating meal number one. So yeah, if you obviously watch the start of this video and probably the start of 99% of my vlogs, you'll see what meal number one is. So that is my favorite. So yeah. All right, this next question is an interesting one, and it is, what goes through your mind first thing in the morning? I'm gonna say that I pretty much just get hyper focused on the next task that I have to do. So when I wake up, my immediate thoughts are, okay, get my ass hydrated, get all my supplements and fat burners and whatnot in, and get on cardio. And I'm thinking about just ticking that next box, really. I try not to think ahead too much of the day. You know, obviously thoughts will pass through my mind of like, oh, if I'm training that day or something, I might be thinking about, you know, like the session and whatnot. But for the most part, the first thing I do when I wake up and I think is that I have a bunch of boxes to tick, and I simply just need to tick them off. And it's as simple as that. Try not to think any further ahead than that. You know, I talk a lot about when you're, you know, prioritizing your day and you're just climbing the ladder, all you're worrying about is just grabbing that next rung, and then the next rung, and then the next rung. So yeah, to answer the question, I just think about the very next thing I have to do, how I'm going to do it the most effectively, and then I just go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So yeah, hope that answers that question for you, my man. Alrighty, this next question is a very easy one. Do you coach females? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. I coach a few females. One is actually going to be on stage tomorrow. So I will post a picture of her here somewhere. Her name is Emily. Shout out to Emily. She's a great chick. One of my very close friends as well. And I wish her all the best for tomorrow. I wish that I could be there, but unfortunately Sydney is a fair way away from me, and I just couldn't justify the full trip for the comp. But that's okay, because I will be there in spirit, and I'll also be talking to her pretty much every minute of the day leading up into her comp. So yeah, I definitely do coach females, competitive and non-competitive. Alrighty, one more question before we get home with the groceries, and that is, how much cream of rice do you eat per day? Alright, so on my training days, which is 2 times per week, on my training days, which is 5 times per week, I eat 100 grams of cream of rice 2 times per day. That is for meal number 1 and my post-workout meal, which is meal number 3. So that's 200 grams of cream of rice on my training days. And then my rest days, which are twice a week, so today and Mondays, it's only 100 grams for meal number 1. So I think I calculated it yesterday. It was something like, what was it, 200, so by 5, something like, I don't know, 1,700 grams of cream of rice a week or something like that. So yeah, so 2 times 100 training days, 1 times 100 rest days. We're just about home now, so we're going to pull in, unpack the groceries, and then it will be pretty much time for meal number 3. All right, grocery haul. We are home now, so a couple of pineapples. We have the expensive as fuck blueberries that I buy like 3 times a week and spend like fucking $40 a week on. Good old low-calorie Aussie winter veg mix. We also have got good old egg whites for my fat-free meals, so they can go in the fridge. All right, we also got some creatine that was half price, so we can stash that. Good old trusty white Monster. More stevia, because we always need more stevia. And then corn thins. And that is what we got for the... So it is now time for meal number 3. So let's sit down at the table and I'll show you what we're working with. Oh, guys. All right. We are hungry and we are here for meal number 3. So what we have got is 8 corn thins with the cookie dough Adonis Way spread over it. It's got like little chopped chip chunks and shit in it. Oh, good stuff. 125 pineapple. We then have 200 roux, 100 veg, and then that is a low-calorie ranch sauce on top of that, which should be incredible. So I am going to devour this and then I need to do a bit of client work. I need to mow some more fucking lawns, and then I am going to run a couple more errands, etc., etc. And yeah, I'll take you along for whatever else happens. So see you in the next clip, whatever the hell that may be. Oh, guys, all right, we ate meal number 3. We then did about an hour of client check-ins, and then we have just passed out for about half an hour now. So, solid nap. It is now time to mow the lawns, unfortunately, so I better get my ass up and do that before it fucking rains again. So, anyways, let's get that shit out of the way. Alrighty, we are now just out getting a few more steps in for the day before we go back to more client work, because you should be moving throughout the day, guys. Spread your steps out evenly throughout the day, especially on a day like today where I'm not training. I make sure that my steps get done, and I make sure that I actually get a few extra in to keep the metabolism going, keep the digestion going, and yeah, anyways, I'll use the opportunity to answer a few more questions. This will probably be the last lot of questions that I do for the day before I do client work, and then meal number 4, which I'll show you. This one is, what is your favorite flavor / brand of whey at the moment? That, my guys, is no secret, and that is without a doubt Rise Skippy Peanut Butter Whey. I put it on my cream of rice every single day, and it is definitely my go-to. Although, I will say the Adonis Cookie Dough Whey is probably better as like a standalone. That's the one that I spread on my corn thins. So I'm going to say, yeah, for core, Skippy Adonis Whey, and for everything else, for core, Skippy Rise Whey. For everything else, Adonis Cookie Dough Whey. Oh, alrighty. Next question is, what are your top 5 supplements? So I'm just going to assume that they mean like over-the-counter supplements, like health supplements off like iHerb and whatnot. They are going to be magnesium glycinate, fish oil, vitamin D3K2. I'm just going to consider that one because they always come as a combo. I'm then going to go a vitamin C. Lastly, I am going to go just a multivitamin. So those will be my 5 right there. So to recap, magnesium glycinate, fish oil, D3K2, vitamin C, multivitamin. Boom, done. Next question is pros and cons of living the bodybuilding lifestyle. Well, I suppose this is going to be different for everyone, but my perception of things is obviously going to be skewed as well, because pros and cons to me are going to be almost one and the same thing because I love it. Like when you say, for example, like cons, like you got to do cardio. It's like, well, yeah, it's a con, but it's also like a pro because I love doing the cardio. So let's just keep it nice and simple and basic and just talk in generalities though, and keep this question a little bit short and not get too philosophical. But some cons are going to be a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, and a lot of doing a bunch of shit that you might necessarily not want to do sometimes. Pros, a sense of purpose and direction, a higher feeling of purpose due to the fact that there's a lot of delayed gratification. If you guys have never experienced like a really good delayed gratification, bodybuilding is like delayed gratification to a T. You look sick, or at least like to some people, because I guess some people think bodybuilders look fucking weird and overly muscular. And lastly, it's freeing to know that I know how to change my body composition at the flick of a switch. I know what I need to do if I want to get leaner. I know what I need to do if I need to get bigger, etc., etc. So there are some basic pros and cons for the bodybuilding lifestyle. Oh, and one thing I will tell you about the bodybuilder lifestyle, it's not going to get you women, all right? Stop thinking that right there. A pro of bodybuilding is not that it will get you women, because trust me, bodybuilding will not get you women. It will get you more attention from men any day of the week. So I just wanted to throw that one in there. Alrighty, probably a couple more questions. So next one is your go-to meal after comp. Now this is hard because I'm not really a food focused guy. So like I'm not one to say, oh, burgers or pizzas or whatever. If I was going to say what my go-to meal would be straight after comp, like realistically what I'm probably going to eat, it's probably just like some fruit, some water, and a bit of chicken and rice. Something like that. That's probably what I'm going to eat. Because all I'm going to want to do is just get some food in, get some water in, hydrate, a bit of fruit there for some sweetness, and that's about it. If I could have what I wanted to have, it would probably be like a cream of rice or something, made with like Skippy peanut butter and, you know, some honey and some dates and things like that. That would be lovely. But obviously when you're competing, you're probably not traveling around with cream of rice, just because, you know, it can be a bit harder to keep. You know, if it's sitting in your car all day, it might not be so great. But then let's just give you one for fun. Let's just say, for example, I did get forced to go out somewhere to eat. I'm probably just going to say somewhere that does like a really good burger and fries. Nice and simple, plain, easy, done. But not just like your shitty McDonald's or something. Someone that does like a high quality like burger and fries where I'm not going to feel fucking sick afterwards. So that is my answer to that one there. Alrighty, last question before we get back home, and we have to jump in the car to head off for one more errand for the day. And that is, what are the pros and cons of competing? Alright, so I'm going to say the pros of competing are having a goal date to work towards. All right, so even though my life wouldn't change if I didn't have the stage, I would still live it, you know, like bodybuilding was my life. But having a specific date and an exact date to work towards can definitely be quite motivating. You know, like it's fun to me counting down the days, you know, like telling you guys I'm 16 days out today is exciting to me. So there's that as a pro. Another pro is that obviously if you need to get ready for something at a certain time, you're going to have that feeling of pressure, and that pressure can obviously also be quite a driving factor in getting results, because if you have a due date, well, you kind of got to do what you got to do to get there at the right time, in the right condition, etc. One more pro I'm probably going to say is all the people that you meet along the way. Like, I'm happy to say that I have a ton of friends that I've met, a ton of good guys that I know, all simply just from being mixed into the bodybuilding circuit. Now, I'll give you a few cons. One, waiting around on show day. Trust me, guys, actually competing and being there on the day is just fucking 90% of your day is just waiting around. You know, you get your 5 minutes on stage, but you might be there for 6-7 hours at the venue just simply fucking sitting around. Another con is getting tanned. I fucking hate getting tanned. The shit fucking stains everything. Washing it off's a pain in the ass. It's just not a fun fucking time. And I also personally think it fucking stinks. One more negative to competing, I'm probably going to say, are the costs. Okay, it's not cheap to compete. They charge the fuck out of you for stage photos, for tanning, for registration fees. Obviously, then on top of that, you need to pay for like accommodation. If you don't live in the area. Pay for travel, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a few simple pros and cons of competing. So I'm going to jump in the car now, head off for one last little errand, and then we'll see what else the day brings. I might do a couple more Q&As later, but you will definitely still see meal 4 at some stage. So I'll see you in the next clip, whatever that may be. Alrighty, we are currently waiting on the couch at an appointment that I have taken an old NDIS client to. Like I said, every now and again I will help him out, and this is one of those days. So we are just chilling here on the couch, and by the time we're done here and get back home, it should be time for meal number 4. So if it becomes a little bit less crowded in here, I might do a couple more Q&A questions, but we shall see. So hold tight. Alrighty, this next question is, do you think fruits are bad to cut on? No, definitely not. I think fruits are great to keep in your diet year round. They aren't inherently bad for you. I guess people might think this because, oh, you know, fruits are full of sugar and sugar is bad because insulin or something like that. But no, in reality, fruit alongside your diet is actually a positive thing, mainly due to micronutrients, fiber, phytonutrients, antioxidants, all those benefits. So definitely keep some fruit in your diet year round, I would say. I like to aim for about 400 grams per day, and my favorites are pineapple, apple, banana. I also don't mind a bit of dried fruit, so like dates, sultanas, and yeah, a couple of solid mentions as well. I love kiwi fruit as well, and I really like watermelon. So do not be afraid of fruits. Fruits are fine. Keep them in your diet when you're dieting. Alrighty, next question is, do you think you have a chance at a pro card? I suppose anyone has a chance at one. It just depends who else shows up on the day. Do I think my physique could potentially one day be good enough to get one? Yeah, I do think so. Does it matter a whole lot to me? Not really, because it's not going to change the way that I live my life. I already live my life to the standard of what I would consider a pro anyway. So I always said to myself, I wanted to have a pro physique and a pro lifestyle far before I ever got rewarded with a pro card. So yeah, do I think I will one day have a pro card? No idea. Don't really care. Would it be nice? Yes. But realistically speaking, like, there are so many good guys out there, just even genetically. Like, I have a thick waist, my lines aren't as good as most. If I did win a pro card, it would simply just be due to sheer size and condition, because my physique, I believe, has a bit more of that like freak factor, and that's less of the like aesthetic factor. So yeah, that is my answer to that one. Alrighty, on our way home to eat meal number 4, and we're going to do a couple more questions. So this next question is how mentally unstable do you have to be to prep for a bodybuilding and a powerlifting competition at the same time? Well, Jess, I will say that you are completely fucking bonkers, but it's not because you're prepping for a powerlifting and a bodybuilding comp at the same time. It's just because you're mentally ill. But that's okay, because I am also mentally ill. But as far as how fucked up you need to be to do both at the same time, look, I'm not going to sit here and say it would be an easy task. It definitely sounds like something that I would do. But I would also caution that I feel like if it was me, I would get fucking hurt really badly, because I've competed before dehydrated and very lean, and I ended up with 2 torn adductors. So I pray for you that you end up with 0 injuries. But yeah, you're pretty batshit crazy. And you know what though? I think that's half the reason why I hang around you and talk to you, is because you are as batshit crazy as I am. So good job. All right, last question we're going to do before we get home is, do you think one all-out leg day per week is sufficient to build great legs? My answer to that is abso-fucking-lutely. I think that many people have built some of the best legs in the world from training them once a week. In fact, if I was going to pick any muscle group to train just once a week, it would be legs. So yeah, I definitely think that you can build massive fucking legs from one day per week. Mainly because like the amount of stimulus and growth you can cause from the legs, because they're such a big muscle group, is huge. So like, yeah, sure, they might not need a full 7 days to recover, but hey, maybe your CNS needs a full 7 days to recover, so you can, you know, hit them again. Or even just like psychologically speaking, like it can be tough for some people to train legs, you know, more than once a week. Like even me, like I train legs twice a week, but I tell you what, like I'm only just able to do it. Like I'm actually even contemplating next off season going back to training them just once per week, because my legs are obviously quite a strong point, and you know, I'll have the extra day for more recovery or more upper body stuff. So to answer your question, abso-fucking-lutely, once a week you can build huge fucking legs. Just look at any of the pro bodybuilders. Most of them only train legs once. So anyways, we're going to get home now. We're going to get meal 4 plated up, so I will see you there at the table. Alrighty guys, we are sitting down for meal number 4. We have 8 corn thins, 30 grams of the Adonis whey, 500 grams of bassa fish, 100 grams of veg. So that is meal number 4, and that is also where I'm going to end this vlog. My last meal tonight, as you all know, is going to be exactly this: 8 corn thins with 30 grams of whey, plus also a Ninja Creamy that is already spun and waiting in the freezer for me to eat later tonight. So that is the end of my rest day vlog today. Fuck load of questions pumped out, usual business, chores, etc. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all tomorrow for 15 days out. Getting close, guys. All right, love you all. Peace.